Hello all you COVID campers. You got nothing to do? You got a garage, don't you? You got things that need to be fixed. You got stuff that's been there for, many a moon. And you said, one of these days I'm going to fix that. And now you have time. So today I'm going to show you what to do when you have an old table that needs a little help. This is kind of an easy one because I'm not really good at making furniture, but sometimes you need to just keep busy, so you just go buy some wood and keep busy. Check it out. So we've got this iron table, right? Really nice iron stand, but the wood is goner. Look at that. It's just going to town here. It gets wet, nobody seals it again. And in this case, this thing has a little bit of a fiberboard under it. I don't think that's going to work in the rain. It does rain in Southern California every so often, and when it does, it's crazy rain. So anyway, this has been out here a little bit, and we got to redo it, but we kind of want to keep the same style. The cut pieces in there, and it's kind of cute. I don't know if it's going to be black, but it's going to be new. So here's how you do it. One thing wrong with this is it was never laminated. If you know what laminated means, it means these pieces are glued together. Right? These pieces, each one, they're just individual set in there. And then when the weather hit, wood started to expand and bubbled up, and there you go. So I'm not going to use pine or oak or anything. I'm going to use African mahogany. So get this piece of wood, cost me about 45 bucks, and just cut it down into little strips. So here it is, already cut into strips, and we've got the circle underneath it already. That's the radius, a cardboard piece. The size of the table are just a little bit bigger. And so I've cut all these pieces. Now I gotta glue them all together. Every single one. I didn't want all solid pieces. I got one or two solid ones, right? But the joints in there, that's what kind of gives it character, like you. So how do you do that, people? You can see I'm already set up for clamping, and I'll show you my clamps. Okay, so you get your pipe. It's just a piece of galvanized pipe. Thread it on both ends. In this case, you only need to thread it on one, but this is a regular piece of pipe or black iron. Doesn't matter. In our case, we've got the black iron ones because they're 5 feet tall. That's what I need, something long enough to get this clamp on there. And this piece has come out, and they can go on all these pipes. If you get the right size pipe, you just put it on the threads. Even if you're a high school dropout, you can figure that out. It's not that hard. Stick it on there, tighten it up like a man. Okay, and then the clamp, you'll see, clamp goes like, tightens it together. So we're going to glue all those pieces and clamp it together. See what happens. Just hanging out, are you? Okay, so you're trying to get something done, and people come by. Yeah, it's good. So you got to be friendly, neighborly, because someone might come by like every day while you're trying to get a project done. Tell you how old she is and how many times she fell, and I'm not moving, and okay, I got to get this done. All right, it's pretty basic. Got to get down here, but glue. Put the glue right here. Got your wet rag ready? Right. Just in case you make a mess, because I know you will. You'll make a mess. Just wipe it in there. Get the glue everywhere. Don't forget now, you're going to sand it. The whole thing's going to get sanded. So don't worry about glue on the top, because you're going to sand it. Just said that. Anyway, I'm going to just do a little bit here, and then you're going to shut me off. I haven't done this for 20 years. I made a parquet table once. Nobody cares. Anyway, every living piece, get them in there. Now that I've started, I got a new system. Just going to go across one edge, let it drip down the front, boom, put those together. That's all that matters. Let you know later if it worked. I think it will once we squeeze the thunder out of it. Look at that. All these pieces need to shift over. Thank you very much. All right. Squeeze it across there. Lots of glue. We don't have to go crazy. We're not gonna, not gonna worry about it too much. Drop it down, stick it on there. Now we gotta, these are gonna have a little trouble staying tight because the wood is warped a little. As soon as you cut it, wood has a tendency to go to town. I don't know why. It's supposed to be dried wood, but there you go. Sometimes it's not. There's little burrs on here. Alright. Down to the last piece here. Slap it on there. Now we'll get these clamps going. See if we can get a shot of this. Okay, so these boards here, that's just so this is up. I got to get it out to here. So this leg on this thing got to go past 3/4. So you'll figure it out. You'll see it later on your own. Get one in the middle first. Slide it down. Basically, that middle board's right in the way. So, kind of clamp it in there, slap it together. Really, it's not that complicated. Just get this thing started, start squeezing it. Don't overdo it right away. And you can see it jumping up, the glue. Tap them together. Make sure the butt joints are tight. Make sure your circle ain't showing. Ah, it's showing over here. Loosen it up a little bit. Put that one over. Stuff will dry. Won't go that fast, but yeah. Check your radius underneath it. The better way to do this would be a big square, but the wood isn't so cheap that you want to waste a lot of material. So leave that to those pros on TV. The idea is to just sort of just to be as flat as you can, because if it's not, you got to sand it more. That looks pretty good to me. This hammer's just too big. Smaller hammerhead. Pretty big gap right there, but the force of it all together, I think it'll be fine. Pretty flat. Put another clamp on there. Now it's pulling out. Don't overdo it. Like they say on some things you assemble, don't tighten the first one too tight. It makes it harder for the other ones. So the middle clamp got a little loose because the other ones were so tight. And now I got to rewind it and get some more threads back. Slide that one up. So that's why you got something to do when everybody else is out buying toilet paper. Work on a table. It's much funner. Big glue will hold it. So there they are. The clamps are on there, and like I said, it's so solid. This whole thing. Oh, you don't want to do that. Okay, in that case right there, it's a little too long to be lifting up, and I probably had it too tight. So I loosened it up a little bit and make sure it stays flat. The hardest part's going to be keeping this thing flat. I'm working on a plastic table with some cardboard, so if you were a professional, you'd get in there and get on a solid surface and you'd have a way to make it stay flat. But once you sand it, you'll realize there's a lot of sanding to do. I can't sand it down to a 1/2 inch, but I'm going to try to make it work just for this little table. So it's probably a little bowed if you really study it. But in the end, Once you sand it down, I think it'll be fine. Now, one thing you got to do when you're working hard like this is you got to have a source of energy. Keep some energy in the garage. See, my garage has got everything under the sun in it. We got ping pong. Borrowed a little ping pong table for a while. But if you look in the picture, you might see this. You might see the energy I got in a bag somewhere. All my tools, clamps, and everything, and plenty of energy just in case you get need some sugar. Breaking all the rules. Okay, now I'm going to take this apart and get the piece in the circle, because the old stuff is rotted out. It's that piece over there. I'll show you in a minute. So basically, once you get the ring off, that's basically all you got left. And that's basically where the wood's going to go. Now, surprise is surprise, there's more work than just that. This has a base on it. I don't know if you can see it in the picture. See, the frame was on here. This is on the bottom of that support board. So we'll take those out. Hopefully they don't break. I don't know how they're attached. Glued. So take this apart and see if it's screwed down the other way. All these pieces come right out. See? Take them apart like that. So the support in the middle is fastened with these tiny little brads. Little nails. So I got to get these boards off without splitting them up. Nothing's easy, nothing's simple, you know. Okay, I'm about to put the underlayment template on the mahogany, and then look what happened. And then you realize if you put it on there, you're short one piece. What happened? I had it all figured out. Well, what happened was when I tightened it up, it compressed them together and it went under 32 inches. So now I've got to glue one more piece on and then come back and cut the whole thing out. I'm not going to do it until it's all glued together. So I got to slow down. Okay, so we lost a day there, but in this climate we have nothing but time. So I put that other piece on the edge, and it's all fastened together. So there it is, bunch of mahogany pieces glued together. Now it's got to get sanded, of course. That's the fun part. But now I got the radius going. So I made this underlayment piece, which is going to be inside the ring like that. It's not really the best for outdoors, but I don't know what else to do. I'm going to seal it up. I think I'm going to paint it first. So I've got it basically in the radius, right? But the wood technically has to be perfect. Technically. Right there. So I've got it, if I trace around this, it'll be a little bit off. So how am I going to do it? Come on, how am I going to do it? Okay, so this ring, just measure it 31.5. It's kind of uneven, but 31 5/8 maybe. So that's one thing I can do, is say, okay, 31 5/8, or I can set this ring on there, draw this circle, and then I add a little bit more to each side of it. So I might do that too, because I know where the border is right there. Can't go past that one. It's outside that way, so we have to go. We are just so close. I didn't do very good with that. I think what I'm going to do is trace the outside of it. Kind of misses the corner there, but I think we're, with the thickness of the metal, I don't know how else to get a perfect circle. So how did I do? Look at that. Man. It's not easy, man. Little divots here and there, but we'll sand it down. Hopefully we can spend like the rest of our life shaping it. So it's getting there. It's hard to get perfectly round. Then you take this ring that goes on the table and you realize there's irregularities in it. So it's just hard to be perfect, but it's a lot of fun to try. Okay, I want to be like a perfect craftsman, but I'm not. So the radius is not perfect, but I got to decide, do I want to make the circle more perfect, a little bit smaller than the ring, then it's gapping equally, or do I want to just get it snugged in there and have a low spots? But right now I'm busy sanding it, so you got to get it flat too. So you get your clamp out here and clamp it to the table, see? Because when you turn the sander on, you know, it's pulling things. It's going to pull it. But tighten that sucker up, man. Ugh. We like to tighten things up. Then this, when it's pulling the board over, it doesn't come off. Get myself some 40 grit, because I've got variations in here of a good 1/16 of an inch. Look at that. So I'm going to sand both sides of it and see if I can make it kind of smooth. Go 40 grit, then we'll go 50 grit, and then we'll go 80 grit. So I got a couple holes to fill, cracks in the board, so I'm going to try to mix up some glue and powder instead of getting putty or something. See if I can make my own putty. Saw somebody else do it once. So, well, we used to do this, I guess. Kind of. I forget what we did it on, but you know. Stick it in the hole. It's the same stuff, right? I'm leaving a lot of marks with the 40 grit, so I'm hoping that's what it is. I know my sander's not the perfect sander for this kind of work, but it's what I got. It's what the Lord gave me when I bought it a long time ago. I didn't buy it for building furniture, I'll tell you that. Forgot to show you how to do it though. Soften that edge, see? Get your router out here. I know you have one in the garage. It's actually a laminate trimmer and I use it for a router. It's really a hassle, but get it softened up and it doesn't look so bad. It's a stay-at-home project, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Just do the best you can. Okay, every time you do a project, you learn something new. After I've belt sanded it, which I did get gouges from that, then I palm sanded it, got the edge going on it. I even put a little filler in a few spots, but they're horrible. They're not very good. They didn't stay, probably because I didn't wait very long. And look at how many there are. And the wood is starting to already delaminate here. There and here. And it's stuff I didn't even see in the process. This here is my tabletop, like it or not. And I think this mahogany is kind of soft. Look at that, chipped right off right now. While we were talking, it got tired and chipped off. But the other thing I noticed, it's not perfectly flat. When I lay it on the frame, I gotta suck it down with screws, but you're only gonna be able to put screws from underneath. So it's hard to do it perfect, but if I can get something to replace what was there, we'll be happy. Okay, then you pick the stain you like and you stain it. Get lots of it all over. And it gets pretty dark if you just keep going in the same spot. But I got a few low spots because I'm not perfect like you. But I think when I'm done, we're gonna like it. We'll see. It's the process. Can't get it to go in there. You ran on it.
What's happening? What's wrong?
I'm no good at this stuff. I'm just weekend warrior. Got this beautiful mahogany and now it's brown, black.
That's what you wanted, though.
That's what we wanted. Okay, there it is. It's got a little discoloration from natural grain, and we're still going to put polyurethane on it. I think I'm just going to stick it in there without the base after all that, because this is laminated together. It'll be strong enough. Now, here's an issue here. I do need a little more stain here. Everybody says I'm done, but anybody know why that is not taking a stain? Well, that's because that's glue. You can't stain glue, people. So a few of my marks are still in it, and that glue spot. So that's something I couldn't sell, but it'll work around here, I'll tell you. Okay, I've got 2 coats on here, and it's still kind of rough. So we have to sand it between coats, actually. I did that once, but I'm going to do it again. It's not that exciting, I know. I like to get a sanding block so you don't have it on your palm. It's flatter. 220. You're going to get a little bit of powder from it. See? When you do that, you're really just taking off the polyurethane. You're knocking it down. Maybe I'm doing it too hard, I don't know, but I don't know if you can get soft spots out of that. Look at all the low spots in the board. I don't know if you can see it. Here they are. Can't hide the truth. I don't know if you can see that in the picture. Trying to make it smoother to the touch, right? So you look at it. Look at the marks. See them? Those are low spots from my sanding. Terrible job, I tell you. But it won't matter in the long run. But like I said, it's a home project. You want to get this powder off here. Do this with a wet rag. Smooth to the touch, but those spots in there are still kind of rough. I think that's just the way that wood's going to be. So I cleaned it off, but you know, getting close. One more coat. See how those fill in, those white gaps. I'm sort of in the I don't know what I'm doing territory. But you know, your wife, she don't care if you know what you're doing. She just wants you to do it. Fix the table, boy. And that's what you want to do because, you know, you got time and it's a good thing. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be done with love. So it looks funny, but I sealed the back as well, the bottom, just because it's going to be outside in the weather. Doesn't matter what it looks like, but just something to keep the moisture, give it a hard time from getting in there. Okay, here comes the fun part. Table time, people. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna mount the pieces on the back. Came with the original table. I have this metal tubing. It just kind of sets on there. And because of these pieces, I'm comfortable without a base underneath it. Okay, so we got the middle piece in, centered. And now this is more critical here, obviously because of the plate on the, if you can see it in the picture or not. It's really hard to do this by yourself. El Centro, baby. So get all these on there, and I did have this was attached with those little finish nails, but I'm not going to do that much work. I'm just going to get some screws. These are like what we call like a strong back. It's a really good idea, simple, and that eliminates the need for that plywood, I think. Should be fine. Show you a good way to put screws into wood that are small pieces so you don't split it up. The trick is pre-drill. Countersink, counter bore. You don't have to go in there, just drill through this. Give me 3 screws. So it'll sink in there. Again, make sure you got the right size screw. Bingo. Don't overdo it. Okay, right there. There it is, people. So there it is. All I got to do now is get some people to sit at it. It's what you do when you've been ordered to stay at home. Something productive. Look at all the color in that. That thing was one single piece of wood. Wow. Nice. So the best part about doing a project is finishing and seeing how people like it. So here you go.
Beautiful.
It's done.
You did a great job.
Well, there it is. It's
love it.
Stay-at-home project.
I can't wait to use it.
This is your morning spot.
Yes.
By your jasmine star, sometimes blooming vines.
Yes, I love it.
And got our shade going now, so we can sit in the sun with the shade. It's nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. So
pretty.
there we go. Project completed.
Nice.
The good thing is I started the project and I finished the project all in the same year.